And welcome back to Darkness Live, everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful week.
I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
Maybe it's down.
Oh, how's that?
That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, sorry,
how's
guys.
that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there
Yes.
I am. I can hear myself now, anyway. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. We've certainly had... Is that going out? Yeah, looks like it. Okay. So, yeah.
Hey, and it's officially fall.
It is officially fall.
Autumn.
No. Do us a favor and right quick, just take a minute and share and like this video and like and share the page and help us get the word out about this thing that we're doing. So, what's up?
Well, it's Monday. Man, I had a rough start this morning.
But
I was
you're the one that doesn't dread Mondays.
No, I didn't dread it, but man, I was just clumsy, like clumsy. Like I kept dropping things and knocking things over, and I felt terrible because I was at a patient's house, and oh god, I felt so bad.
No.
Like, I know.
You were committing mass destruction at a patient's house?
I felt so bad. At least the patient wasn't really with it. She didn't know everything that I was making messes of. And nothing too serious, though.
Right. There you go.
But anyways, I hope everybody was able to celebrate. Those of you who do celebrate. The equinox.
Yep.
Officially fall. And that makes me super happy. It's my favorite season.
Huh?
It's my favorite season.
Yeah.
Fall is my favorite season.
Oh, goodness. So,
oh, man, I saw this, I read this article, and it was about in a nutshell, what actually goes on with cremation.
Oh, my God.
Let's
get morbid right off the bat.
Well, it was, the article that I clicked on, somebody shared it. I don't know. I think it was one of the groups that I belong to. Somebody shared an article about not cremation. The article was about how bodies actually, like, they filmed a body for 17 months post-mortem, and the body, like, they said it danced, but it wasn't actually dancing. It was because of all of the creepy crawlers that would, like, lay eggs. And there's, like, a facility, I can't remember what town or what state it's in, but there's a facility that they actually, like, research
is
bodies.
it one of those body farm things?
Yes, it's a body farm, and they research, like, what the body goes through processes and what all happens with your body after it's clinically dead. The one great thing about, but anyways, that article led me into another article relating to death, and it was about the reality of cremation, like what actually happens. And they said that it's law that they wait 24 hours from when they get the body. They have to legally wait 24 hours before they can cremate it. And they do, like, and you know how there's like touchy-feely sensitive people, like there's certain words you can't say, like global warming or whatever. Well, in the crematorium, like you cannot say, like there's certain words that you can't say, like you can't say, what was it, like incinerate the body or something. Like there's certain words that are like, no, you don't use those terms, which I thought was really, well, I mean, it's, I guess, you try to be the, most dignified with burning a body, right? Yeah. And then it talked about how a lot of times the remains that the families get, like sometimes they're not quite what they thought that they were going to get, because they'll be like pieces of tooth and bone and stuff that didn't actually incinerate.
Yeah, they have a lot of crematories have it's almost like a grinder that they run the cremains through, because there will be chunks of bone left and chunks of tooth and that type of thing. I mean, yeah.
David said, we can't talk about crispy critters. He also said, Dave, oh, hey, Dave. He also said it's back east somewhere, Tennessee, Virginia, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
I feel terrible that I don't, like, remember exactly, but it,
I've watched a documentary about it before.
That caught my attention.
Yeah.
That article caught my... But the original article that led me into that one, the one about the decomposed body, actually was like dancing for 17 months on camera because, all the worms and stuff.
Yeah, the
larva. So much that I guess it was like moving the body around and whatnot. And creepy.
Yeah.
You want to be cremated, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what I want. I don't know. I won't need my body anymore, so maybe donate it to science.
You better let me know eventually. I mean, hopefully we've got some time. But...
Are you an organ donor?
Huh?
Are you an organ donor?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I am. God, I have to get my driver's license renewed before December, because I don't want to wait till it, before my birthday in December. I have to get it renewed. And the last time I got it, I think I chose organ donor. I'm gonna have to check my ID now.
Yeah.
To see if.
Well, we better get that in writing too, because
there's a shortage of people who donate their bodies to science, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so much interested in that, but.
Oh. I'm just saying, hey.
I don't want to donate my body to science, but I want my ashes spread somewhere within a reasonable amount of time. Let's get this show on the road and get back with the ancestors type thing. So.
Right. All right. Well, our guest this evening, we're just not gonna. Yeah, we got 60 seconds here. Our guest this evening, she is a amazing... Oh, Bella drew the picture that you wanted her to draw. It's right there behind the laptop. She said it in here.
Oh, well, I wish you would have given it to me. But that's okay. I will work with it. Okay. So go ahead and introduce our guest.
Okay.
And...
our guest, her name is Stephanie Greene, and
This is going to be a confusing episode for me, by the way.
It is?
Yeah. Stephanie and Stephanie?
Oh, yes. Yes. Hey, it's a good name. What can I say? Anyways, her name is Stephanie Greene. She, one of her friends, she said that, I won't say who, but she said that Stephanie, like, she is so talented, like, she doesn't probably realize how talented she actually is with her gifts. Like, well, I'm gonna let her tell you guys when we get her on here what all she does. But we actually, here a few episodes ago, the one that Dave was on with us, David Mitchell, he's watching. He and I were sitting on this couch, This exact couch. And this thing went across the screen. We've talked about it in a couple episodes.
I've got the video that we can show after.
Oh,
after
you
a
do?
bit, so,
Okay. Did you
yeah.
load the one that when we were on the phone with Jessica as well, or just the one with Dave? Because there's 2 episodes that.
Yeah,
came...
I just
Okay,
I've just
well,
got the one.
that's
I'm
what
having some
prompted-
issues with some of my software, some of my video editing software, so I'm a little slow getting to the getting it edited exactly like I want it, but I do have the clip that we've shown on
good.
air before.
Well, let's call her. Let's get her on the phone.
All right.
Let's get her on the phone. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna let her just tell you guys everything that she is all about, and she has beautiful tattoos. Her picture, like those tattoos, were just incredible. But
so okay, here we go.
We'll give her a call.
Hello.
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 Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Gosh, you are so pretty. I'm staring at your picture on the screen right now. You are so pretty.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Oh, and what's your middle name?
My middle name?
Yeah.
Kay.
Kay. Stephanie Kay. There you go. So we have Stephanie Kay and Stephanie Nicole.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
There we go. There we go.
I was just telling Stephanie about how confusing this might get for me this episode. Talking to 2 Stephanies, so
Right, and for us to figure out which Stephanie you're talking to, probably
right.
too.
Exactly. So Stephanie, let's just jump right in here. Tell us and everybody watching. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do, what you are gifted at. Just tell us about you. What is Stephanie Greene?
So I don't know. I'm just. I always love explaining myself. I mean, I guess I'll just kind of jump into some of the things that I'm gifted with. I have at times, and I don't have any control over it. It just comes when it wants to come. And I sometimes can call it in, but not very often. But I can have clairvoyance. I have definitely been able to see things, see energy, sometimes see auras. I often see it like a purple aura. Just like if I'm going down the road and I'm like, I can go this way or that way. The purple aura will be the direction that I go.
Did you ever watch the movie Donnie Darko?
I mean, I did, but a long time ago.
Okay, but you remember that movie? You remember how that immediately the image of that movie when he has that thing coming out of his chest that's guiding him where to go? That's immediately what that Sorry, go ahead, Stephanie. I just had to put that in there because that's what it reminded me of. It's such a great movie. Anyways, go ahead.
I'll have to go back and watch that because it's been years since I watched it. I don't have great movie recall either.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
But yes, so I've always, since I was definitely a kid, I've had imaginary friends that probably weren't actually imaginary friends.
Right.
And, I've definitely had my fair share of houses that had spirits in them that either really made contact with only me or, I was certainly the one that could see them and sense them and feel them. Certainly times that I can hear my name be called in the night. I've had to get readings before because I'm I just keep hearing my name screamed in the middle of the night and it's waking me up at 3:00 every night. What does it mean?
Whoa.
So definitely, and there have been some times that I've had some mediumship capabilities, and it comes whenever it wants to come, and I'm kind of working on trying to grow that and be able to use it to help other people. But, and this was another situation that it just came when it came, and boy, when it came, it came.
Man.
That is so cool.
Gosh. So, Stephanie, I want you to explain how, so you watched the episode that we had David.
Yeah, so actually, I watched the episode that Jessica was on.
Okay.
To support her. And so then when you guys were playing the episode back with Davon, you're playing it back, and it was kind of when you were talking about how when you slowed down the video frame by frame, that you would expect to see something like walking across the screen, but it was just nothing. It was just dark.
Right.
And for me, I was like, I had this very vivid picture in my mind of what I would expect to see if you were able to just pause the frame on that.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh God, and what you drew. It was so accurate. Go ahead.
So yeah, I just, I saw that, and then, I was like, yeah, I totally need to draw this. And then the show ended. I watched the rest of the show, and then the show ended, and then, I was late getting my little one to bed for the night. And so I just kind of went on with that, and then had to work the next 2 days. And then I think it was Thursday morning that I was just sitting there drinking my coffee. The kiddo was off to school. The house was empty. I was just drinking my coffee. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I have to draw that right now. And I could not scramble to get pen and paper, crayons. I was like, wow, searching for crayons and paper like a mad woman, and just found this little piece of card that was left over from something that I just grabbed some crayons and sketched it out on. And as I was drawing it, it was just like all this information was just downloading.
I'm gonna play the video back for everyone that maybe hasn't had the chance to see it before. I've already played it back for them once while you were kind of describing, watching it, but just to give everyone another shot, and then I'll pull up the picture that you sent us. So, but anyway, you go ahead and keep talking while it's playing now. So,
yeah, sure.
But it's right here that you can see the camera kind of start to shake, and then there went the shadow.
So crazy, just so crazy, man.
And I don't know. Like I said, we still haven't really, try as we may, try as we might, we have not been able to come up with a reasonable explanation for it. So yeah.
Well, I think we do have a reasonable explanation for it.
Like a natural explanation, you mean
debunk? We have not been able to debunk it. So
and at this point, I don't think we're going to, especially with the amount of input that we've had from everyone, like Stephanie and others who were watching and have seen it. So it's just, wow, I don't know what else to think about it. So, but you guys go ahead and keep talking. I'll get this picture pulled up.
Okay, so, Stephanie, you go ahead and you talk about how you reached out to us and what you did and everything, and then you talk about that part.
So yeah, I just, I sat down and I drew this out, and it was just, it was flowing so fast and coming so fast. It was almost kind of like an automatic writing experience where it was coming so fast, and, I really didn't know what I was drawing, but it was just like, yeah, that's him. And so, he's kind of, and the information that I got from him, and, like I told you on the phone, I've gendered him, and I'm getting a lot of adolescent male energy from him. Mm-hmm. But I was really getting him connected to you, Stephanie, when I was drawing him, like so connected to you. And I'm like, but I was also getting all of this adolescent energy with him. And so it was just like, and it wasn't like bad adolescent energy. It was just a lot of like chaotic kind of adolescent energy, and not like so much bad chaos, but just like he's kind of like a place where like he just collects stuff that is just like, I'm not ready to deal with this. And he kind of takes that for you is what I was getting. But at first I kind of thought, well, maybe it's like one of your kids is kind of going through that adolescent phase, and that's why I'm getting all of this energy. Mm-hmm. But I was just getting it so strongly connected to you. And then I like finished drawing him, and I sat back and I'm kind of like, well, I don't know these people, and I cannot just randomly share this with these people.
Because when you see it, when you see this image of what, like you worded it really well when you said, if you were to see something in slow motion go across the screen, like when that, whatever that thing was, went across, if you could actually like capture capture, excuse me, this picture of what you drew is what we would have seen. And I really like how you explained that. Like, you really captured it, by the way. I appreciate your words, Stephanie. So the thing that you drew, and it's so funny that you say, I don't even know these people, and here I'm drawing this really creepy looking image, and I'm going to send it to them, and I hope they don't freak out too bad. Well, there's a reason I think that you were the one to really pinpoint the description, and it was so priceless because because everybody who's watching, like, Stephanie made like a little, like a YouTube video for Jeremiah and I, showing the picture of what she drew, explaining everything basically that she just explained to you guys about the picture and where it came from and whatnot. And so let's go ahead and show what she drew.
Okay.
So go ahead and show what she drew. That way, so that right there, my friends, is the image of what she saw when it flashed by, okay? Or what came to her. He came to her, right? So, and it's so, like, when you first see it, it's almost, what's a good word? Like, it's kind of abrasive, like, when you see it initially, if you're not expecting to see something like that. Do you think abrasive is a good descriptive word for that? Abrasive, or kind of grotesque, or just kind of uncomfortable, or... Stephanie, what word would you use to...
I mean, he definitely is a little bit scary looking on first glance. And so, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't just send these to these random people that I don't know. One, it's going to scare the crap out of them. And two, they're going to think that I'm nuts, right? But, as I was sitting with him and sitting with his energy, and as he's just downloading all this information, like, he had a lot to tell. And it was not that he was scary at all. He definitely was kind of a shadow side figure, but not like, when you see, shows about hauntings and shows about the paranormal where they talk about shadow figures and like the dark, scary shadow figures. I'm very much of the mind that you cannot have light without shadow. The two,
the yin and the yang.
You have to have one to have the other.
Exactly.
There are definitely dark, shadowy entities, I think, that can be very bad and can kind of get in that stuck in that shadow. And I don't feel like he is that. He really gives me the information that, he's kind of shadowy, but he's like the good shadow. He's like the place where you put things that you're not ready to work on until you're ready to work on them.
Right.
And he's like a placeholder for you, and kind of like a guide in a sense for you for those kind of things. And it makes sense that kind of coming into this time of year that he's kind of making himself known as, the veil is thinning and we're getting into the shadow season.
Right. Well, Stephanie, I have to say, so when Jeremiah and I were watching, okay, so when I first saw, like, when I first saw the image that you drew, I started laughing out loud, Stephanie, because laughing as in I was taken back when I saw it. Not taken back because of how kind of just uncomfortable that picture might make people. I was taken back and I was laughing because that exact thing I have seen, and it has followed me since the earliest. I think I was probably, I don't know, I was pretty little. I was young enough that one night was the first time I remember this thing that you actually drew, which is wild to me that you drew it, and it's so cool at the same time. But the first time that I have any recollection of seeing him was I was little. I was in the house I grew up in. I was little enough that I remember I woke up, my mom, I slept in bed with my mom slept in bed with me one night, and I was probably I don't know, oh gosh, I was really little, early, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6, really, really young. And I remember one night I woke up, and so my bed was up in the corner of the room, and my mom was on the outside of the bed, and I was in between her and the wall, and I was facing the door, and I remember something woke me up in the middle of the night, and up in the corner of my room was this creepy ass thing, and it was like if you could picture somebody crouching in a corner of a room, like just crouched down and staring at you, but if you flip it and it's up in the corner of the ceiling, and it's like crouched up in the corner, and it's obvious that it's like arms and legs are like super long, and it had like a white face, and it scared the shit out of me when I was this, a little girl and seeing this. And so I remember closing my eyes and just hoping, and I put my head in my mom's back, and then I remember, I don't know, at that point being that little, I don't remember how much time passed in reality, probably a few seconds, I don't know, but I was just hoping that it would go away when I closed my eyes and put my head in my mom's back. Because when you're that little, you look at your parents as like security thing, like, oh, that's a safe thing, they're not going to let anything happen to me. So, but unfortunately, when I woke back up I didn't wake back up, when I opened my eyes back up, it was still up in the corner of the ceiling, like staring at me. And that was the first moment that I have any recollection of seeing it. I have seen it throughout my life. Doesn't matter where I live. Doesn't matter.
So Stephanie, I'm going to interrupt you just a second, because I've got the picture here and I'm looking at it as we're talking about him, as you're telling your story. And I got very vividly kind of a voice say, I didn't mean to scare you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
All of the accounts that you've ever told me about seeing him, and the one time that you saw him here after we went to bed.
I've seen him more than once, but right when we first moved in here.
Yeah, and that it scared you. Every time you've described him to me, he's always been kind of standoffish, back off up in the corner like he's trying to hold his distance and not scare you, actually.
Right. I know that Christy said goosebumps. I know it is. It sounds just like a Goosebumps book or something. But anyways, so I have when I was really little, that was the first memory I have of this. And then, like I said, throughout my life, didn't matter where I was at, I have seen him off and on. I never really wanted to acknowledge it. Or like the house I grew up in, every so often I would get like this really eerie feeling like, ooh, I don't want to go in that part of the house, or, stuff like that, Stephanie. And I always can't help but wonder, if like he's always kind of been there as like a protector sort of a situation.
Well, and what I get from him a lot is that he is a place that holds the things that you're not ready to deal with, the things that you're not ready to work on. So that would give off kind of an uncomfortable feeling, but he's not trying to scare you. Right.
And and that's why, it's so cool that you drew that, and you got, Jessica got us in contact with each other, because like that. So I have to ask, when we had our reaction, or had my reaction to you, were you kind of surprised, or were you like, did you kind of know, like you just knew ahead of time that, no, I guess because you thought, oh, I don't even know these people, but I have to do this, like I have to send this picture.
Right. So yeah, I mean, because at first I thought, too, that it might be connected to one of your kids. So when, as I started to sit down and journal what all I was getting, and then it was just coming so fast. And then I saw Jessica sent me the response that she got from Jeremiah that said that's what you've been seeing since you were a kid. Yeah. And then it was just like, I was so hyper. That's when I made the video for you instead of journaling it, because I was just so hyper. I was shaking. That's incredible. So, like, I guess on some hand, I kind of knew, okay, I have to send this to them. And I do think that, like, when I did send it, I was like, okay, I don't think that it's going to freak them out. Exactly. I don't know that I expected that it was going to resonate so profoundly, because I kind of thought you were going to think that I was a little bit nuts.
You're my people. You're our people, Stephanie. You are our kind of people. So no, I didn't think you were nuts. And, and there's a reason, like there is a reason why he came to you, for you to like draw and stuff. And, I'm sure, and giving you that validation, maybe, that gives you some more confidence with your skills too. I think that, but yeah, you were spot freaking on. So here's what's really wild and crazy in my mind about this whole thing. So one night, he presented himself to me in where we live now, and my daughter Bella. Okay, so this particular night, I was still at a place where this thing really freaked me out. Like anytime I would see stuff, like it would scare me. I mean, you know, that's kind of like the first episode you asked me what attracts me to the paranormal, and I'm like, no, it's attracted to me or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I don't go looking for it; it finds me. Well, it's the same principle. It's like, so this thing, and this, like I said, this was still at a place where I was not comfortable with it at all. And I would see it. Well, this one night when I saw it, it was up in the corner, crouched like it normally is. And Jeremiah was like, literally like, you know what, just tell it to leave you alone. Like, just assertively be like, you know what, leave me alone. I'm not in the mood. Go away. So I did that out loud. I'm like, not in the mood. Go away. Well, then I saw, the little, and it just kind of went up the stairs because like we were downstairs and it was up in the corner and it just kind of went upstairs. Well, the next morning, our 3 girls share a bedroom. Okay. And one of the girls came downstairs and said, hey, so last night, in the middle of the night, Bella got really scared because she saw something at the foot of her bed. And Jeremiah and I have never, like, Stephanie, we've never told the kids about this thing ever. I mean, obviously you don't want to scare them, and so I'm like, really? Madeline, like, what did she see? And she said, well, I don't know, but it was some black thing. She said it was like black with white face, and it was like crouched on the foot of her bed or in front of her bed or something. She's like, I don't really remember. So then Bella comes down, and I'm like, Bella, did you see something last night? And she kind of was a little standoffish and was kind of like, yeah. And she's a Virgo, mind you, so she's pretty, like, reserved and, not really outspoken, and she's just pretty calm. And anyways, yeah, she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, draw what you saw, like, what did you see? And so she drew a picture, and my jaw, probably your jaw, dropped because she drew exactly what, almost to a T, what I've seen. Yeah. And then we asked her, before the show tonight, Jeremiah was like, hey, Bella, will you draw that thing you saw? Do you remember that? And she's like, yeah, I remember it. And she's like, okay. So she drew it. And so you going to put that picture up? Yep, so it's then, up. Is it up right now? And are you sure? Because I don't see it.
Well, it takes a little while to switch over.
Oh, gotcha.
So
gotcha.
But bear in mind, and Stephanie, I sent this to you in the messenger chat that we have going as well. Mm-hmm. But bear in mind this is a 10-year-old's drawing. So, but between that and I'll put hers and yours up here side by side. I mean, that to me it's kind of an uncanny similarity. Oops, that's the wrong one. But
But it's just it's really interesting.
Putting them up side by side now, and you can see a lot of bearing in mind difference in artist skill and age. That's kind of an uncanny similarity. I think so.
Yeah, it is. And Bella, like, she sees stuff, like she does, which I think it's really cool because I see stuff, she sees stuff. I have no doubt in my mind that our littlest one does see stuff. Oh, yeah. Because she'll always be jabbering to somebody in the room that's not Jeremiah or I or her siblings. Even like when they're not here and stuff, she'll be doing that.
Looking up at the ceiling and waving hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does too. But yeah, it's really, it's remarkable to me that, and we didn't, also bear in mind, we didn't tell Bella. I mean, even like after she described what she saw to us and everything, like we didn't tell her. We didn't give any validation to that. Like we're just like, oh, I'm sure whatever it is, it's not negative. And like Jeremiah and I, we have sigils on above like every door and window in our house, like protective
like
thing.
for protection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, whatever comes in this apartment, like it's not going to be anything that's going to be like out to get the kids, or you know what I mean? Like we're pretty careful about what can and can't enter this space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same. I have black kyanite blades over all of my doors.
Right.
And selenite around the house. But I have a very intuitive little guy too, you know, and especially at this time of year, you know, as the veil is thinning. We got in the car the other day and he said, hi boy, you know, and the car's in the garage. Hi boy, mama, say hi to the boy. And I'm like, hi boy. And you know, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing kind of a gangly 11-year-oldish looking boy with blonde hair swooped over to one side, and I'm just like, okay, hi boy.
Right. That's, oh my gosh,
that's amazing.
So what about you? So what about your family? So do you think, Stephanie, that people who have gifts and stuff like that or see things, do you think that's like a bloodline thing, or like being a little witchy? I'll just use the word witchy. Being a little witchy, do you think that it is a bloodline thing, like all the females in your family, or you know, like your dad or you or your kid, or do you think that that's the case and not every family has that, or do you think that it is the case that anybody can start seeing and picking up on stuff?
You know, I think that probably some people are more susceptible to it, more open to it than others. You know, I mean, my mom's sensitive. We kind of always have been able to read each other's minds throughout the years, especially when I was a kid. Her grandmother, so my great grandmother, read tarot on just the plain deck of playing cards.
Do you have those cards?
I don't know.
Oh, man, wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be. She died before I was born, so I never got to meet her, although I've always felt her presence in my life and with me. I also have always felt my great-great-grandmother, who actually I think lived until I was about 10, I want to say. Maybe not quite that old. But so I've always felt their presence as guardians over me. And then, you know, on my dad's side, they were all kind of just very, you know, straight, kind of laced people, didn't really talk about anything spiritual or anything, except for, you know, my grandfather on my dad's side gave me my first book about aliens and the crystal skulls from Peru, I think it was from. You know, he gave me my first books on UFOs and aliens, and my grandmother on that side gave me my first Brian Froud fairy book. So I think there's a little bit of magic on that side too. And I actually frequently see my grandparents, my grandfather especially, from that side, and he passed when I was 17. I'll frequently see him either standing over Finn's bed or standing in my room smiling at me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I think certainly it's family lines. I think that you have to be open to it, because I spent a long time that I just shut it out. And so when all of it came back for me, you know, it's kind of a traumatic experience that happened in my life that brought it all back. And when it all came back, it just kind of came flooding back. So now I'm kind of at the point where I'm just learning how to try to use it to help other people. And this is kind of one of the first experiences that I've had where I was able to use it to help other people. So that's
awesome.
Really pretty exciting for me.
Well, so I'm like super honored that I was able to be that for you, because, or he was able to be that for you, because yes, that definitely, like, I just, like, I wish that you would mail me that picture or make a copy of it and mail it to me.
Oh, yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll be happy to send it to you.
Because, yeah, like, if that was, like, him, you know what I mean? Like, if that was him, it's like, oh, it's like we have, like, framed pictures of our kids, and then we need to frame that and put that right next to our kids or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's my little, what do you even call him? Like, did he mention a name by chance?
You know, he has not given me a name. He's, you know, definitely not really so much let me know, other than I've gendered him, and it just feels very natural that he's a he.
I agree.
You know, and definitely he's just got a lot of that adolescent, but he has not given me a name. So,
well, if
but
he ever
yeah,
does.
I mean, even sit with this because as I sat with this picture, he really had a lot to say. So when I send it to you, just sit with the picture and see what he says to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
I should get a scrying mirror.
There
I feel
you
like
go.
I should get a scrying mirror when I'm doing this.
We've got.
I guess we have some.
We've
have
got
some.
a dozen and a half of them downstairs.
That's true.
We just haven't had the chance to get sold, so just get one of those.
There we go. Hey, and you made them, so that's even better. His energy's in our scrying mirrors. We sell scrying mirrors, by the way, if anybody needs a scrying mirror. But so your little guy. So what was the first account that you have of your little guy that you were like, wait a minute here? Do you remember?
Of mine?
Yes, your son.
So he was probably, maybe 8 months old, I want to say. He was born in April, and it was around Christmas time. So yeah, about 8 months old. He was in his little plaything. And I was having, when we moved in this house, we moved in right before he was born. And this house has a lot of kind of harsh lines. It's got like a catwalk with a railing, and then it's got windows that have lots of little cuts in them. So for a long time, it took me a very long time to get and it's a very big open house. I came from a very old house that was very, rooms were all separated. And this one's a very big open house. So just that big open energy, and as car lights would go by, it would bounce off all of the different little things and cause all these shadows to dance around. And just a lot of postpartum depression and anxiety that I had at the time. It took me a long time to get used to this house. And so my mom was here with me, and I just had very high anxiety that night. And he was sitting in his little bouncer thing, bouncing up and down. And all of a sudden, he just kind of started cooing and looking up and looking around and tracking something around the room. And he kind of was like waving a little bit and just really chattering. And then all of a sudden, just some random commercial that I'd never seen before and have never seen since came on and played Claire de Lune. Well, my mom was here with me at that time, and Claire de Lune was a piece that her grandmother, my great grandmother,
wow,
played.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. That gives me
goosebumps.
That gave me
yeah.
goosebumps.
So at that point, I knew that was her. And then a couple of months later, I don't think he was quite a year old. I think it was probably in like January or February, that we were at my grandmother's house. And I had taken him, he was fussy, and I had taken him into her office to, at that point we were still nursing. And so I'd taken him in there to get into kind of a little private area and nurse. And we nursed, and then he kind of came up off the breast and he looked around, and he like locked eyes on a picture of my great grandmother and smiled great big.
Ooh, that gave me
Said,
goosebumps.
Hi, and started waving at the picture of her. So that was kind of my first indication with him.
Wow, that gave me goosebumps like two times in a row here.
Yeah, as he got a little bit older, as he got a little bit older and I started kind of opening up again and I started being able to sense spirit again. I had to make very hard and steadfast rules for spirit, that spirit's not allowed in his room at all, because he would be awake all night talking to him and playing with them.
Wow.
So that's kind of my first indications with that little guy.
Right? Oh my goodness. Isn't it wild how kiddos like every so often they'll do or say something that you really take a step back and you're like, wait a minute. Okay, what's going on here? Well, that's like the other day, like my son, so my son's always been very skeptical. Okay. Like he's always like, so like his dad is not like, he doesn't believe, he just kind of believes like, you don't have memory before you were born. So you live your life and then you die and then that's it. Like he doesn't believe there's any kind of higher power. He doesn't believe any of it. He just thinks that it's just all random and we're here. And what is that? Atheist?
Yeah,
He's never
he's
actually.
almost nihilist about it. I mean,
It's like he's never actually like given it like a title that I can recall, but he just so my son has kind of always followed in his dad's footsteps with, you know, being real skeptical and like, oh well, I don't really think anything exists or, you know, whatever. Well, lately my son has kind of surprised me and like us. He's kind of surprised us because one day we were in the car and he was like, "Mom," he said, so I'm convinced that this is that I've been here before and I keep having he's like ever since you and this guy ever since him and I got married, he said ever since Jeremiah and I got married, he said that he keeps having deja vu and like every so often, and you can see it when it happens too, because it'll catch him off guard. He's like, whoa, deja vu, like this has happened before.
He had it just the other day. When was it? The last time he was in the truck with me. And I don't remember.
It's happening more frequently for him, and he's 11, mind you. Okay, and so, and you know, Jeremiah and I have always been like, with the kids, we're always like, you know, like, this is what we believe, this is what we practice, you know, we encourage you to, you know, if you, we don't force it on them, in other words, like, we don't force on them, like, what we believe and practice, but, you know, we encourage it, but it's just wild to me because, yeah, my son's like, I'm pretty sure I've been here before, this isn't my first time here on Earth, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go, you know. But anyways, Stephanie, well, this has been like incredible, and I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for not thinking I was crazy when
Dude.
I said
yeah,
totally.
Absolutely. That was awesome.
You know what? Craziness is all a matter of perception, and from my perception, you are not crazy.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Well, it is amazing to be validated because, yeah, he just kind of came to me and, like, all of a sudden in a flurry. So it's awesome to be validated.
I never will forget when you first sent actually, I think you sent it to Jessica first, and Jessica sent it to us.
Yeah, because I was too scared to send it, like, cold send it to you. Hi, I don't know you. I watched your show. Here, I do this for you.
But I never will forget that when I first opened that up and looked at it and read what Jessica wrote about it and what you had told her about it, I was like, oh my God. I was like speechless because it caught me off guard that, you know, because you know how I'll make this real quick. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
No, you're okay. I have a sitter here helping out with him, so I'm pretty good.
But we, you know, when you kind of get used to things happening a little bit here and there, and you are, my microphone is way off balance for some reason. Weird. Anyway, you get used to things happening, but it's when it's contained in your home, and you just kind of get used to that cycle. It throws you way off guard when someone you've never even met before throws something, you know, at you like that completely matches what you know and understand, but you've never really told anyone for the reasons of, like you said, I don't want anyone to think I'm crazy.
Right.
You know, so that was absolutely amazing. So
right. Well, that's like I want to ask you this question, Stephanie, and then we'll let you get back to being a mama. Okay. Well, you're always a mama, but you know what I mean. Back to being, you know, in charge of kiddo. So my question for you is, okay. So would you consider yourself a little witchy?
Oh yeah, I'm totally witchy.
Okay, and you celebrate the Sabbats, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of a lazy witch, but yeah, I do.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. So my question to you is, are you pretty like outright with what you believe and practice when you with people, or are you kind of like reserved about it and don't really speak of it?
You know, I've gotten more outright with it. You know, since let's see here. Since July, I now have a large tattoo on my upper arm with crystals and moons.
There it is. It's so pretty. Oh, there it is. It's on the screen. It's so beautiful.
Now I've got a moon with 2 kitties. So if that doesn't say witchy, I don't know what does.
It's a beautiful tattoo, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. And there's your kitty cat in the picture. Oh, I was having a cat.
Yeah, she's actually sitting right here next to me. She is she came into my life when my husband did 12 years ago. He was her cat. I'm the first girlfriend that he's ever had that she didn't pee all over their stuff. And she's like 17 years old. I put a little rose quartz heart on her collar a few years ago, and she has just decided since then that I am the bee's knees, and she is always attached to me when I am at home. I can't do anything without her right by my side.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So I was just curious if you've had any like negative experiences with anybody, like how they react to you with talking about it.
I'm definitely very careful who I talk about it to. I think that on one hand, there's been a huge shift recently, where a lot of women are becoming more spiritual and are kind of going down more of this type of path. I wouldn't say, more of a witchy path, but, less of the, steadfast rules of some of the Christian faiths. And I say some because I know a lot of Christian faith-based witches as well. But I think there's been a huge shift, and especially with younger people. And so I do think that helps. I think also that it helps that I live in Kansas City and we have a huge metaphysical community here.
Right.
So I think that does definitely help. So I have community and I have people that I can reach out to. The issue that I have is just standing firm in my power and my abilities and, knowing what I know and being able to say, no, I really know what I know. I kind of fall back and get a little bit self-conscious about it and think, oh, maybe I don't, maybe I'm just making it all up. I don't know.
Right.
Standing in my power and trusting myself, is definitely more my issue than worrying about if people think that I'm weird because I'm a witch. I think I outwardly look a lot more confident and powerful than I feel on the inside.
Isn't it funny how what we see ourselves as and what other people see us as it can be completely contradicting.
Right.
Right? Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. But I also have kind of taken that, I'm like, so when I do approach people, I'm kind of like, try to put down that, oh, they're not going to like me. Because then I think, oh, you know what? They probably are thinking the same thing.
Right.
Exactly. I used to tell everyone that I used to, it's not quite so much the case anymore, but it used to be really that I kept my thuggish appearance to cover up my inner chicken shit.
Right.
So.
Oh man, that damn ego. So the reason I ask you that is because I've recently become a lot more comfortable with, just being open about, about what I practice and what I believe in everything. And did I call you when I got home? I told you about it.
You told me about it when you got home.
So so I don't know if it was like a mistake that I brought it up, but I was at a lunch thing on Friday, and somebody that I won't even like. Anyways, a person, we were there was like a table of there was like 4 of us at a table, and we were having lunch, and this person, I made the comment that, oh my gosh, like, hey, tomorrow is the first day of fall. Like, we're, my husband and I, it's one of our, I use the word holiday because a lot of people that do not don't know what the term Sabbath means. So I so I use the term holiday. And so I said, oh yeah, that's what, hey, tomorrow's the first day of fall. Like, it just hit me, and I'm like, oh, that's my husband and I, we're going to celebrate this weekend. And they were like, one of the people was like, what do you mean it's one of your holidays? And I was like, well, we celebrate that. And they said, what, you celebrate the first day of fall? And I said, well, yeah, we do. Well, what's your religion? And I was like, because I was kind of in like a setting where it caught me off guard, but literally, because I didn't want to do it in front of some of the people that were there, just because of, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I had my uniform on, so I did, you know what I mean? Like, what am I trying to say? I didn't
It's
want...
like your mask. Your uniform's kind of like your mask. Like, because I'm a nurse.
So you get it.
It's like my mask.
You totally get it. So I looked at the person across from me, and I was like, because she is okay, I'll say it. She's a coworker, and then the other two women are not coworkers. They're like accounts. We'll say it that way. They're like people that work for some of the places we go. Anyways, so I looked at my coworker, and I was like, she's like, what's your religion? So I typed in Mabone. Like, I typed it in. And I just handed her a phone. I was like, so it's this. Girl, she looked at it. She read it. She literally looked at me and said, I have to leave. And I'm like, what? I was like, oh. I was like, well, I said, typically, and the fucked up part was, she was super, super, like, we got along really well. We had a really great working relationship and everything. And that moment, like, she wouldn't even speak to me today. Like, she wouldn't look at me. She wouldn't speak to me. I mean, it was like hardcore, like ostracize. And I'm just, it really like it upset me a little bit, because I just was like, wow, like, I can't believe that, someone would be that. What is this, the
Stone Ages?
Right. But, Jeremiah.
Are we back in Salem?
I got home and
Good
I
old
was
Kansas.
Right, exactly. I got home and I was just like, man, like, this is, I was pretty shaken up about it, because and I asked Jeremiah, I was like, have you had this experience? Somebody just totally like, well, I have to leave. But I looked at her and I was like, normally I'm careful about who I open up with this stuff to, just because you never know. She's like, oh, well, I'm not leaving because of you. I have to leave. Well, that was a bunch of shit, because it was very obvious with her body language and everything, her reaction, that she was like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. I can't be around you. It just really bummed me out, because, but it's okay.
We are still going to have that, I don't think we'll ever get away from that 100% completely.
It's still,
oh shit. My microphone just fell down, but it's at the same time,
taboo.
Right? At the same time,
Stephanie, we break taboo.
It's it is getting better, even in the Wichita area. It is getting better. It just, we still have a long way to go in some aspects, but I do believe it's getting better. So
I think it is, and that's like one of the girls we were in. I'll say this and then we'll get off here. Actually, Stephanie, do you need to get off of the phone now? Because if you do, just say the word.
Yeah, I do need to go pretty quick.
Okay. All right.
Well, we apologize. We kept you on about 15 minutes longer than we intended to, but
that's okay. I got lucky and I had a great sister come over and help out with him.
Will you tell her
put him to bed?
You tell her many thanks from Jeremiah and I.
Yes.
Yes, you tell her.
We'll have to do this again sometime soon, and
yeah, we'll be in touch.
Talk a little bit more.
PM me your address and I'll send you this picture that I drew so that you can have that.
Will do.
I will. We will actually, after the podcast, we will get on and send it to you. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing, and what a circumstance for us to meet such an amazing person, huh, Jeremiah?
I know, right?
It's
right.
So cool.
It's awesome. So
that is.
But we're gonna jump off of here and let you go. Otherwise, we'll just because we can
can just
talk
keep
forever,
talking.
and we know you need to go. So
You have a wonderful night.
Yes, have
You
a
guys too. Thanks for having me on. This has been fun.
it's been a
absolutely.
blast, and so yeah, go take care of your kid, and thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Did she hang up? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, she's incredible. She's such a neat person to talk to, and she's so gifted. Like, I feel like she is probably way more gifted than maybe she realizes.
I think she's like you and me and probably everyone else out there that we deal with on a regular basis. We don't give ourselves enough credit, and I'm eventually going to get my mic stand fixed here.
Do you want some help?
And no, I got it.
Are you sure?
So, yep.
Just be like Freddie Mercury and just rip it off of there and then just carry it
Yeah.
with you.
No.
No.
No. I have too much other stuff to do with my hands, so
Okay. No, but what I was gonna say was the other day we had a little Miss thing in the car, Melanie in the car, and we were talking, and she said, she as in like when she was saying she was talking about herself. She said, I have a lot of respect for people who do believe in God and do believe in the Bible. She said, but she's like, Mom, explain to me why they have an invisible God that they can pray to, but yet they think we're crazy for what we believe. And I'm like, wow, a 12-year-old. This came from a 12-year-old,
right.
By the way. And I just told her, I just said, unfortunately, that's something that we're always going to run into with what we believe. And, but it's amazing to me that at her age of 12, that she thinks that, like that mature or has that realization on her own.
Right.
But this is also one of our daughters that I'm pretty sure she's like an indigo or she's an old soul.
Yeah,
Like,
she is
for sure an old soul.
She is
She's wise beyond her years.
This is one of the reasons that I am so glad that you came along when you did, because you helped me open up the world for her so that she can actually experience her gifts and learn to manage and control them in a healthy way, because she was already well on the way to shutting down. She is probably, I'm talking about our oldest daughter at home, and she is probably the most gifted empath I have ever dealt with. I mean, she's got way more empathic energy than I do.
Well,
I mean,
she's so sensitive.
It overloads my senses sometimes.
She's so super sensitive.
And when Stephanie and I first got together, she had anxiety issues, and
I mean, like for a kid.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen a child with that bad of anxiety.
Oh, it was terrible, and what was the scary part about it was, yes, M&Ms. Lena's comment there.
Yes.
But she had so much just internalized, because she was experiencing all of these things and experiencing so much emotional turmoil. And, just because of the turbulence in our lives at the time, I couldn't get things stabilized down far enough to help her come through it.
Well, you had probably, I mean, maybe I'm a little ballsy for saying this, but, she she probably had, like, from when she first could remember stuff, it probably was turbulent. Her home life was turbulent up until she finally now that,
right.
you know, since not saying, you know, thanks to me, but you know what I mean, like,
well, but it is largely, I mean, you know, of course it's something we've done together, but it's she is so much more at peace and so much more, you know, calm now. You know, she still has, you know, a little bit. She has a temper, but you know, that. I think she probably always will. You know, she is a Norwood after all, but
right.
But she's to the point now that I think we can start actually working with her, actually learning to control and manage her gifts, because she has such an intense empathic energy. And the other one, actually the other two,
which specific two are you talking about?
The other two girls at home, older girls at home.
Okay.
Sorry
guys, we categorize our children in groups. We have our adult kids, we have the other 4 kids, and then we have Sophie. That's how we categorize the kids. It's like we've got the 2 adult children, and then the 4 other kids, and then Sophie.
But those other 2 girls, I think they're following right along with you, in their gifts and abilities. I think you know, I've told you before, and I'll say it again. And you're gonna have a hard time changing my mind about it. But I'm 99% sure you have an untapped mediumship gift.
Oh. Lena said yes. We're getting there. It's so, like, it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because there's not like a manual, and there's not kind of like a, you know, first you start with, you know, addition and subtraction and multiplication, and then you know, the steps.
Oh, Jessica, I love that idea. It's right up what Stephanie was just saying. Oh my God, I love that. We need a kid/group class for them.
Well, we have enough to fill part of it, like a small classroom. Really, we do. We have.
We have
four.
We have 4, and then everyone else. Oh yes, yes. Firefly, that show. You never did you ever sit down and watch the series?
Nope. My Aunt Kenna, she always told me I needed to watch Firefly. She loved Firefly. I did see part of the movie Serenity, but I've never. We need to watch it.
Yes.
Yanni, we will watch it.
We love that show.
I bet I would like it.
Love that show.
I bet I would really like it. But back to the kiddos, so it's really, you know, so for them, prime example, when we did our, when we had our little celebration, we set up our altar and everything, Saturday night. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. That was weird.
I wonder if anybody else heard that. That was creepy.
It was. It sounded like a mechanical sneeze almost.
Ugh. I don't know what that was. Okay. Well, anyways, we'll just keep talking. I lost my train of thought. Actually, that caught me off guard.
You were talking about the kids and the difficulties.
No. So when we set up our altar Saturday, and we did our little ritual for the for the first day of fall. So Jeremiah and I, part of what we practice, it's very ancestral based, and so like what we call our honored dead would be like those who've crossed the veil before us. Okay, so our bloodline that's crossed the veil. Oh, Christy said she heard something too. And I don't know what the fuck that was, guys. We'll have to go back and pay attention to the time right now. What time How far in are we on this? I don't even know, but
oh gosh, we're dropping a lot of frames for some reason.
what does that mean?
The stream's just not as smooth as it should be. We're about an hour and 8 minutes.
Okay. Remember that.
So
I'm telling you to remember that.
Okay.
Anyways, so when we were in the middle of our ritual and everything, and then all of a sudden, Madeline, one of our girls, she's in 5th grade, she literally saw somebody. I had seen the person that she saw, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to freak her out. But she, like, her eyes got real wide. She's like, "Did you see that? Did you see that? There was a lady that just walked over there. Did you see that?" I mean, she was.
Well, and I saw
like,
it too. I saw it too.
She teared up. I mean, it scared her very badly. And then when on Sunday we were kind of cleaning, fall cleaning instead of spring cleaning. We were fall cleaning, and I was on top of the fridge, and she got up on the chair with me, and she pointed, because the picture of your grandma is up on top of the fridge, and her eyes got huge. That's what I saw. That's what I saw, and I was just like, I know. I know. And I'm like, see, it's not scary. It's something that's, it's hard to wrap your mind around, but it's not scary. And, we just try to continually tell the kids when they do see stuff like that, like it's not scary. Like,
and the picture, when I saw what I did actually during our ceremony, I saw kind of a beigeish brownish blur, off in the living room to my right. But in my mind's eye, I saw one of the ancestors in ceremonial robes. So
okay.
Which would have been absolutely
But yeah, Madeline,
right up the alley.
But yeah, when it was
she
priceless.
was freaked out. She was in tears.
Yeah, she was, and it was so cool because she was kind of skeptical. Like, we've asked the kids before, like, how many, which of you guys think you'll continue this, continue this on with your families and stuff like that. And Madeline has never, like, she's like, well, I'm pretty sure that I'll do this, like, while I'm here with you guys, but outside of that, I probably won't. Well, I find it so ironic that Mima presented herself to Madeline, because what you want to bet after that?
Right.
She might change her tune a time or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Christy, that wasn't the first time I'd heard a similar sound either. This time around, it's I don't know, it's weird, but we'll listen back and see what it says. So as you guys notice, we have, what time is it?
I don't know.
We have about 20 minutes to kill here. We can just keep talking. We can talk all night. But if anyone out there wants to call in and talk with us live, pick our brains, or let us pick your brain, or whatever.
Yeah. Somebody should call. Somebody should call.
Yeah, 316-200-9066. And so, yeah. But in the meantime, until someone calls, if they do call, so...
Oh, you know what totally should happen if somebody does call, right?
What?
I can't say it right now. I can't say it because it would ruin it.
Oh, okay. Well...
What were we talking about earlier today that you were, like, super stoked about?
No, yeah, well, we never did have a chance to come up with anything on that.
Well,
so.
I just did. It just popped in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody call us. Somebody call us, and you'll be glad you did.
Is this?
Is it on there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it, like, legible?
It should be.
Oh, yeah, it is.
316-200-9066. I'm trying to figure out why we're dropping so many frames.
What does that mean? You keep saying that. What does it mean?
Is the video choppy? But I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, so We have some perspectives on some really cool guests coming up on
Lena said
my
number.
my number, Lena. It's up on the screen 316-200-9066.
Christy said video's good.
Okay. Oh, there's David.
David.
Welcome to Darkness Live. How are you tonight, Mr. David?
I'm doing okay, and the video is just a little tiny bit choppy. What I'm seeing is behind.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Oh, and there's Lena.
And there's Lena.
Oh, and I'm knocking shit over here. Let's see if I can merge these.
Can you? Hey, there we go.
Do we still have both of you?
I don't hear you. There you are.
Can you hear?
Are you there, Lena?
I'm here.
Yes.
Lena's
Yep.
there too?
Yep, both of you on there. So what's up, guys?
Well, you said to call, so I called.
How
So,
do we get both of us on here?
do what?
What was that, Lena?
How'd you get both of us on here? That's
I have
kinda cool.
no idea.
I have three-way calling on my phone.
Right on, very cool.
Oh my goodness. So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So what's up? What's on your mind tonight?
I was told to call.
You were told
They
to
were-
call.
they
Okay,
followed-
Jessica was running after you tonight.
So Dave, I gotta ask you. So when you saw that picture on the screen, what did you think when you saw it? That Stephanie drew, that picture, that thing that she saw.
I wasn't sure what to think. It reminded me of a drawing I've seen in a book I've read.
Okay.
I mean, perfectly frankly, that's what it reminded me of.
Huh.
Okay.
What about you, Lena?
I actually connected it to that familiar information that I was getting before for Stephanie about the chimp and the fact that it was a younger male kind of energy, and that he's kind of free-spirited, likes to roam around, climb walls,
Yeah.
Yes.
crouch in corners. And we had talked about sensing him in your, house before.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's
There's always a reason why they come forward, though. He feels the need to be, connecting more to you now because you're opening up more. And Stephanie, you need to be real about your gifts.
I know.
The question would actually, in my head, is why did it come forward when I was on and when Jessica was on, and those are the only two times?
Those are the only two times we've caught it. I mean, that we not caught it, but that we've gone back and watched it, and then actually was looking at the screen at the moment that the thing went past. But yeah, Dave, I don't have the answer to that. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't have the I don't have the answer to that. Personally, I think it is.
There's a murder going on.
Yeah,
downstairs.
that sounds like someone's
I will be
dying a
back.
bloody death downstairs. I'm gonna play this through a few times while we're chatting about it. But I think there's a lot of there. Well, I'll tell you right now. For now and for the last few months, actually the last several months, but there has been a lot of shadow work being done in this household. And the kind of resonating back to what Stephanie Greene felt about this entity being kind of maybe like a repository for, stuff to put stuff, a place to put stuff until you're more ready to deal with it, or until Stephanie is more ready to deal with it. That might explain why it's kind of shown up a little bit more, because there's been, like I said, there's just been a lot of shadow work going on in this house for the last several months, but especially over about the last month to month and a half. A lot of just, looking inward and looking at our shadow selves, you know, and it's something that we are not really being given much of a choice about, because it seems like we just can't get away from it when it's not something that we're having the opportunity to put up on a shelf a lot. So it's like maybe she's putting it in this guy's lap, and then he's turning around and giving it right back to her. Does that make sense?
When it's time for us to do the work, though, and we're called to do the work, we have to do the work.
Right.
It's going to be coming back.
Right.
But I also think part of the reason he came forward during the times with, Jessica and Dave was to give you that validation that you needed. It wasn't just Lena saying it. It wasn't just your imagination. It was somebody else validating too. And on top of that, putting it out publicly gives you the opportunity to say, yes, this really is something. No, Stephanie's not crazy.
Right. Yeah. And I love the way I love the way that worked out, because it happened on it happened on the night that David was here, and then we reviewed it was a pure fluke that we actually caught it. And in rewatching the video, because most of the time I don't, when I'm rewatching the video, most of the and Stephanie's the same way, I don't usually actually watch the video. I listen to it, and just kind of half-ass pay attention to the video, because I usually just listen to it when I'm doing other things. But
I had mentioned too that we heard the kind of growly, soft moaning noises in a couple of the videos.
Right.
And that also made you start looking back at them and really paying attention. And I
right.
think, because you had that public knowledge, or, other people backing you up and going, yes, I heard this too. Yes, I saw this too. It's more validation for Stephanie, and it's more of a reason for her to start stepping into who she is and being confident about what she's experiencing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And I think I love the way it played in, and played into Stephanie Greene's life as well, in that she just happened to be, of course, there's very few of us at all around, Lena, that have any doubt whatsoever about your gifts and talents, but I love the way it played into Stephanie Greene and her life, in that, she just happened, when we reviewed it on the show that Jessica was on, and Stephanie Greene happened to be watching, and she got all this information, and she sent it to us, and that turned into validation for her as well as valid. It was like a two-way validation. So that was amazing.
Well, and it kind of validated what I had gotten too. I think everybody was kind of in that mutual circle of validation, because when we had previously talked before you were doing the podcast about what Stephanie was experiencing in the home, that was one of the things that came up. And also, not just the people who were standing behind her in the kitchen, but the other things that she was feeling and some of the things she had from childhood. And I think, hearing it from me was like, oh, well, Lena maybe just said that because, she works with Jeremiah or whatever. But Stephanie needed to hear that from everybody else too. And
having
because Dave is a strong shield, I think that was a perfect time for it to physically manifest there in front of everything. He's a very strong protector and very strong shield.
Absolutely.
And when Jessica was on, I noticed, because I've been watching all the ones that I wasn't on, the energy was really high in that broadcast. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
energy, we'd been running a whole lot of energy on the one that I was down there for, too. And that maybe have had something to do with it as well. There was a lot of
Oh, come
extra
on, Dave.
energy available.
Right.
You opened that up, that whole awakening thing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, well, crystals can do that.
That's really, really awesome.
Okay, so how many times are you guys accused of opening portals with this stuff? Even if you're just, talking to somebody, they're automatically like, oh, you're going to open a portal. It doesn't work that way. They're there or they're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, a lot of people's emotions and fears just make more chaos and more drama, and they see things. They experience things. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing something to bring that about. We just happen to be good shields or good energies to pick that energy up.
Right.
Feel that energy, to sense it. It's too funny. I had to tease you, Dave. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I got broad shoulders. I can take it.
And I remember one of the first things that I said to Dave when I very first met him was, well, one, I told him there was a bear with him, which he probably thought I was absolutely crazy. And two, I told him there was a lot of very strong shaman-type earth-based connections with him, which played out in the end to him healing and bringing, peace to the earth or whatever. And on top of that, I remember saying to him, you are super powerful, strong, and like a super shield.
Mm-hmm.
And he's proven that time and time again.
Didn't you also tell me during that first meeting that you and I had been married in a past life?
Actually, that came about later, which was
Oh,
really
okay.
weird because
It was early, though.
it was very early in our meeting, and actually, I was told that I was your wife's sister and married to you, and now in this lifetime, you're married to her. So, and when I first met her, I thought she hated me. I was so she was so quiet and so just peaceful, just very peaceful, but at the same time, she didn't talk. So I was sure that she just didn't like me.
Right.
But, I think she was coming into her psychic self so strong at that point. She was maybe a little taken aback by it.
Yep, she was.
But she's amazing. She's a gifted psychic. I highly recommend Sequoia White Deer for Lenormand or Kipper readings. Awesome. Just awesome.
And,
Now,
Stephanie
you know
can
that
attest
she's
to that.
listening, too, so.
Yes, I can attest to that. I can attest to that. She did a reading for me. It was incredible.
Right? Well, kind of like Jeremiah's readings. It was a natural gift. It's something you guys are born with. It's what you were meant to do.
Right.
Like Jessica and her tarot.
Right.
There's a reason why we're drawn to certain things. Jeremiah is a strong healer as well as a reader. So, just like you, Stephanie, you have that gift of healing and empathy and the ability to actually connect with the spirits. That mediumship is super strong, and you need to really embrace all of that.
Well, I know that I can tell you there's been 2 times. Well, there's actually been 3 times in the past, year that I've seen somebody, heard the name, described him to a T, and I've never met him. Has that been, what's the time frame? Past year?
Oh, yeah.
There's been
it's
3 times.
all been since you started your current job.
That's true. You're right. Since I started what I'm doing now, or where I'm at now. So Lena, there was one day that this image of this female came to me. And to this day, I've never met this person, but it was such a detailed image. If I was any kind of an artist, I could draw her. But I still, to this day, do not know who she is. Don't know why she came to me like she did. But I mean, it was a very... Remember that? And I told Jeremiah, I was like, this lady with this almost jet black hair, like, I saw her. I've seen her a couple times. Like, I don't know who she is. I've never seen her before. But, like, this woman, I mean, it was like she... I don't know. It was so detailed and so vivid. Like I said, if I was able to draw well.
Did she give you her name?
What?
Did she give you her name?
She did not.
I'm being told she's a guide for you.
I wonder. That's interesting. I wonder. Huh. That's
Very
interesting.
interesting.
Now, I have a strong question for Mr. Dave.
Go right ahead.
Are you working with animals as well as, because I know you're doing a lot with healing the earth and things like that. Are you working with healing animals as well? Because the animal totems are so strong with you.
No, I think they're helping me. I'm not consciously working with them, but I think they're helping me work with the land.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
I am getting pulled toward them a lot more. We've got a tree that has lost all its leaves out along the creek out back behind our house. And Tuesday last week, there were at least 15 turkey buzzards up in that tree. Never seen that many of them in one place before.
Wow.
So there have been all kinds of, over the last few months, odd, shall we call them animal visitations?
Right.
Lately.
Have you
Bald
had
eagle flying over the backyard.
Have you done an animal totem type reading before, or?
There are
Have you had
several.
one?
Oh, yeah. Otter is one for sure. And blue heron,
So have you
both. And
had
I see heron all the time now.
Dave, have you had readings before, like a totem type, an animal totem reading before, or?
Yeah, but it's been 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Hey guys,
Oh, no.
is that?
Does Sylvia still do them?
I was getting ready to say that, Lena. I was getting ready to say that exact phrase.
Stop reading my mind, Stephanie.
Seriously, because I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt you, Dave. I was gonna say, hey, isn't Sylvia? Isn't that what she does? Because when she did a reading for me, she just did. Because I was curious what she did, and she just did a 2-card pull, and she pulled a goat and a rooster.
Well, I could see that.
And the
So does that mean you constantly have to crow about how bad things are?
No, it had first, when she pulled those 2 cards, the first thing that she asked me, she's like, do you have problems with blood sugar? And I was like, actually, how did you know that? Like, what? I said, yeah, I do. Like,
What exactly about those 2 animals told you
yeah,
that?
exactly. And she said, well, it's telling me that, these 2, they kind of peck, and they eat a little bit here and a little bit there, and they kind of graze around, and she said typically when she sees those, it indicates like blood sugar issues, and I need to be better about eating small meals. And anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys, but Alina, I had to interject and say that's what I was gonna say about Sylvia.
Well, I would suggest maybe Dave talk to her about getting a reading. Because
yes.
obviously there's some stuff there,
Okay, now I missed the name of who I need to talk to.
Sylvia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because she's pretty awesome.
I mean, yeah, she was just pulling a rooster and a goat, man. She told me more about myself, and I hadn't even really had a good one-on-one conversation with her at that point. That was
right.
That was like a year ago.
That was the very first.
Yeah, that was back
Casey Meadow we did.
It was last November. Yeah. So.
Of the 3 that she turned over for me, we had a New Year's deal, and the 3 that she turned over for me. One was a dolphin, and another was a horse.
Interesting. Well, the horse would, definitely be, the amount of work you're putting in and the connections that you're having, because, they're very, very connective animals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that dolphin would symbolize intelligence, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
And they have psychic abilities too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you should definitely do it. I mean, I am not an animal totem reader, but I can see animals with people, but I don't.
Well, I mean, there are 5 dogs here at home, so.
I don't see all the meanings behind them, but I definitely can see different types of animals with you. You have an abundance, so.
That's very cool.
And that bear is the playful protector, type energy, that shielder type thing you got going on there.
That's cool. Yeah, Dave, I second that. You need to have Lena, or not Lena. Well, hey, Lena, you need to do a reading for Dave, apparently, because Lena just came out of my mouth. I was going to say Sylvia, and then Lena came out of my mouth. Whoa, that was weird.
It has been a while, I think, since we've done any kind of reading.
There you go. There's your sign. There's your sign. Oh, my goodness.
We have a very different connection, because there was that past life connection, and so I can kind of sense him anyway. His wife, too.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
We were meant to meet in this lifetime, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Wait a minute, that was a good band.
Love you, Shannon.
Sorry.
She said she's leaving, so.
Yeah, but I can still see her.
Yeah, tell her, big hugs from Lena.
Lena says big hugs. You hear that?
Yes.
Yep, I did.
God, I love her owl necklace. Shannon, I
Oh
love
my gosh.
her owl necklace she has. Man, it's Dave, between your raven and her owl, I'm like, I can't even decide which one I love more. Guys, Dave and his wife, Shannon, they have these necklaces, and they're one of a kind, and they're absolutely just, I want one. Honey,
Right.
I want one. And they're just these I don't even know. Dave, describe these necklaces, what I'm talking about. They're just so amazing. Like, I can't even, I want them.
It's like a pewter likeness of the animal with a stone set in the bottom of it. Shannon's owls, she's got labradorite, she's got amethyst, she's got all kinds of different ones from them. My raven, I think, has got black kyanite at the bottom of it.
Black kyanite.
And
You had another one. I don't remember if it was one of the animal necklaces or not, but you had a moldavite necklace
It's
that
not
was
an animal.
oh,
amazing.
that I picked up at ZRS Fossils and Gifts in Minneapolis.
That's
It was a
incredible
consignment
necklace.
piece. It is the biggest single piece of moldavite I've seen in a piece of jewelry.
That's really cool.
What is
So-
moldavite good for anybody who's never heard of it?
Really strong psychic stuff, since it does come literally from out of this world.
Maybe that's why I'm drawn to it.
Well, it's also beautiful for meditations
Oh,
and
Look at Yanni.
grounding. It ties us to heaven and earth.
And if you pair it with Libyan desert glass and put it at your third eye, it will, well, for me, it took me astral in about 30 seconds.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Hey, Dave. So we have a request from a viewer. Would you and Shannon mind taking a picture of yourself together and with your necklaces on? She wants to see what these necklaces we're talking about look like.
We'd have to, we can't do it tonight, but we can do it.
Yeah, just whenever you get the chance.
Yeah, whenever. Just take a picture of you guys with your necklaces on.
You can post it straight to the Darkness Live page, or you can send it to me and I'll post it for you. Yanni Lee Intrican in Trican. Yeah, anyway, she was. I'm sorry, Yanni. I'm terrible with names, but I probably butchered your last name there. But she was just wanting to see. She loves necklaces. So
if she wants to see work that's similar, we got them from some people that have an Etsy shop, and their name is Soto, Soto Collective.
We could post that.
Yeah.
Yanni, we could do, you know what, Dave? We could do
Soto
that.
Collective.
Soto
Okay.
Collective. We could, yes, we could just do that. We could just share a link to them.
Incredible pieces of work. They also do crystal cathedrals.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well,
Let me make a note of that.
I hate to do this, but my husband just brought home my birthday dinner, so I'm going to let y'all go.
Okay. Alrighty. Well,
good.
thank you so much for calling in.
Yes, Lena. Thank you as always. Thank you.
It's been fun. Stephanie was awesome. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Dave, for sharing your time with me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys all soon.
Lena, we'll be in touch.
And I should
Bye.
probably let you guys go also,
All
so
right.
that you can wrap this up.
All
Yep.
right. Sounds good. Well,
Sounds
thanks for calling in, Dave.
awesome. Yes, Dave. Thank
Glad
you.
I did.
We are too. We
So,
are too.
okay.
That was weird.
Yeah, that must have been a. He was kind of breaking up a little bit there. So.
That was probably Lena's fault.
Oh, we should have told Lena. We should have sung "Happy Birthday" for Lena. I knew today was her birthday, but
It's actually today?
is it today or was it yesterday? I think it's today.
I don't know. I don't know if it's today. I'm taking this out. We don't have my
Yeah,
user.
we don't. You're fine.
Oh, happy
we should
birthday,
have.
Lena.
Yeah, we should have sung her "Happy Birthday" while we had her on. I didn't even think about that, but
So I just literally, when I said happy birthday, Lena, I looked up at the screen and it said 111 comments. I always see 111. I wonder what 111 indicates. Now, we've got to get a numerologist on here.
yeah.
Numerology fascinates me so much.
Yeah.
And I am so terrible at math, but man, numerology
Yeah.
is so intriguing to me. It's today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
That's
Lena.
what I thought.
Happy belated speaking
I told
to
her.
you. Happy
I told her
birthday.
happy birthday on Facebook, but I can't believe we didn't.
I'm terrible.
I
I
didn't
haven't
think
even.
about it,
I haven't
so.
even like scrolled through Facebook. Today was such a crazy busy day at work.
Yeah.
I haven't even scrolled through Facebook today, but I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, but
Sing it now, and she can watch later. I'm gonna be like William Shatner, and I'm gonna speak it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lena. Happy birthday to you. I don't sing. I do like William Shatner, and I just kind of speak with emphasis.
That's amazing. I think that was better than any singing.
Did that make your night?
Oh, that was awesome. That
Oh
was
my
awesome.
God.
All right. Okay, we're getting down into the tired stupids again, so we need to get off
God.
of here and wind this
Hey,
up.
yes, and we are going, Yanni, we are going to post on our Darkness Live page their shop,
Yeah.
their Etsy shop. Their stuff's kind of expensive, so that's why I don't have one around my neck. But someday I will own one.
I will.
Get me one? That would be great. Subtle hints.
I will work on that.
Subtle
but in the
hints.
meantime, I will post a link to it in the video description, and
Yes.
we
You are
will,
welcome, Yanni.
Yeah, we'll get that rolling. We are going to have an announcement tomorrow because we did hit 300 likes. Actually, I think we're
did.
at 301 now, even.
But hey, we made it like 300. We were like so excited when we saw that we made it to 300. And yeah, we're gonna have a little contest for
We're gonna do
for
something.
anybody who wants to be participant.
And so we'll get that. We still got to figure out the details. We were gonna do that tonight so we could announce it on the air, but we didn't have time. It's just been such a crazy busy day. And so, anyway, please like, share, subscribe, whatever it is, whatever platform you watch on. share the page, share the videos, share the posts, and
Hey, and we'll be back on Monday with 2 new members of our family.
2 new...
Next Monday, we will have two
yeah,
new members
absolutely.
of the Norwood family.
They won't be here, but we're this coming weekend we're expanding our family. We're gaining a daughter and a grandson.
Yeah,
So-
she comes with a kid.
Yep.
She comes
So-
with a kid built in already.
Yep. So
we'll be automatic grandparents.
yep.
That's
And
crazy.
that's all right.
Hey,
That's
Dave,
all right.
Dave posted the link to the shop.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
So very cool. I will.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, thank you. I'll get that copied and post it in the, let's see here,
Darkness Live page.
Copy link. There we go.
I feel like I've been
So,
rambling and rambling.
Yes, I will. I'll post that in the video description. And so, yes, please like and share the page. Help us get the word out. Help us keep growing. Thank you so much for everyone that has logged on and watched with us tonight.
And been supportive. This has
Yes.
been amazing.
Yes, we love all of you so much. We're gonna cut out of here. We'll get our 300 like celebration contest posted tomorrow, and on Thursday we will post the announcement for next week's episode. And in the meantime, you guys have a great day, great night now, and hey, don't be afraid of the dark.
Happy birthday, Lena. Bye.
We will talk to y'all later.